I'd probably say my commitment to run at college means the most to me. Probably because ever since I was a kid, I've always just dreamed of playing at the next level, and that was my best opportunity to. And not only is it just like an opportunity, it's like a great opportunity. They're top 15 in the country right now in basketball, and it's also a great school academically.
All right, so today we are with Salem High School basketball player Cam Boles, reigning River Ridge District Player of the Year, 1,000-point scorer, run a college basketball commit, and first player in school history to record both 1,000 points and 500 rebounds in a career. So first we're going to start off by asking, out of those accomplishments, which one means the most to you?
I'd probably say my commitment to run at college means the most to me. Probably because ever since I was a kid, I've always just dreamed of playing at the next level, and that was my best opportunity to. And not only is it just like an opportunity, it's like a great opportunity. They're top 15 in the country right now in basketball, and it's also a great school academically. So,
What has your journey been throughout your life as a basketball player?
so I started out obviously just like YMCA basketball, just like for fun. But then, like third grade, I picked up on travel team, started playing pretty seriously, and then 7th grade, 8th grade played middle school. 7th grade, my year was like shortened because of COVID or whatever, so it was just like we scrimmaged each other. But 8th grade was like my first like actual year on like a organized team, I'd say. And then freshman year was my first opportunity to play varsity basketball, and freshman year I was kind of just like a role player for the team. I didn't really do much. Came off the bench, started some games, but my job was mainly just like bring energy, not really do much, like offensively or defensively, specifically just bring energy. And then sophomore year, my role kind of stepped up a little bit. I started every game until towards the end of the season. I got hurt. I broke my ankle, and so I missed the rest of the season. And that was like a really hard part of my career because like I had dealt with like ankle sprains before and like a couple of broken bones, but that was like as a kid. But that was like my biggest injury, and I was like kind of confused as to how I wanted to continue, like if I wanted to continue or not. And I did decide obviously to continue, but junior year my role really increased, and we had a couple players transfer out or quit. And so, like, my role was a lot bigger as a scorer, defender, and it was just really good to go from always being, like, a role player my entire life into being, like, the guy. And so that's, like, last year was a big turning point, I'd say, especially after coming off, like, that big injury I had. And then this year, obviously, continue that and just have a lot bigger role this year.
Yeah. Throughout that whole journey, like which part do you think was the hardest part? I mean, I know you were talking about the injury and stuff. Like, how did that impact and make you become the player you are today?
I'd probably definitely say that injury because, like, at that point when I had the injury, it was sophomore year, like I said, and beginning of sophomore year, I had kind of a slow start, similar to freshman year, kind of just playing like as a role, not really doing much. And then as I started to progress through the season, like I got like a bigger and bigger role, scored more, rebounded more, just did everything a lot more, and I was really starting just to improve. And then it was end of January it happened. Beginning of January I'd sprained my ankle, played on it. A couple weeks later, rolled it again, just kept rolling it, and then end of January is when I came down here at home and broke it. So
yeah. All right, so y'all are on another hot start to the season. So what moment of the season has been your favorite so far?
As a team, I'd say winning both times versus PH. That's always been a big win. Last year was the first time we'd beat them in like 8 years, I think, and we ended up beating them in the district championship as well. And just to be able to beat them both times again this year, it's a really good feeling. I wish we could have got a couple other games, but those are probably the best. And then personal moment, probably when I hit my 1,000 points, obviously that was just a big moment. Felt really like relieving. Or probably either of the times I've dunked on someone. That was a pretty good feeling. Never felt that before. And yeah.
Who has been your biggest role model and supporter throughout your high school career and basketball career?
I'd probably have to say my coach, TJ Stratton. Before my high school career, it was always just like a head coach, assistant coach, and then I came to varsity and obviously head coach, assistant coach, and then there's like a couple other assistants, and then you have TJ, who he's not really a basketball coach, he's more of a life coach, I'd like to say, but he's just taught me a lot on how to be a better person, not just like on the court but off the court. And as a freshman compared to now, I'd say he's taught me the most how to use my voice, and that's just helped me a lot as a person.
Mm-hmm. So what has your favorite memory been as a varsity basketball player?
I'd probably have to say any sort of in the season, probably last year when we won the River Ridge District. That was a really good feeling, especially after the years before. I haven't said this yet, but freshman, sophomore year, our record was not very good. We were under 500, and then last year we finished only losing 5 games. This year we only have 3 losses, but probably just winning the district last year because that was just like such a big, like coming from 2 pretty bad seasons into a really good season and then off like that. That was a really good feeling.
Yeah, that River Ridge District game was a great atmosphere. And then what do you think you have improved the most on this season so far?
I'd probably have to say, like, probably my leadership. Like, last year was my first year being a captain, and it was me, one other junior, and then 2 other senior captains. The senior captains kind of like they were like my role models for last year to see what I wanted to be this year. And so once I became a senior this year, I just used my voice a lot more, kind of like I said with Coach TJ guiding me. I just learned to use it a lot more, and I think it brings a lot of value to our team.
Mm-hmm. And then what does a day in the life look like for you on game day?
So obviously when we got school, come to school, and then after school, I get to leave after 5th period because I have a 6th and 7th period study hall. So I go home, get all my like gear ready. I always take a hot Epsom salt bath, and then come to the game, start the JV game, and watch the first quarter. And then after the first quarter, I go back and I either do some sort of heat on my body somewhere, wherever like I feel sore or something, and then I get a good stretch in. And then before the third quarter, we always meet as a team, just like run down on things that are about to happen. And then after that, it's time for the game.
So what's your pregame meal?
Pregame meal, Chick-fil-A. It's not very healthy, but Chick-fil-A. I get grilled nuggets, French fries, and a drink.
That's a classic meal. All right, so that's all the questions we got today. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more interviews and podcasts. Thank you.
And that's going to wrap up this episode of the Salem Spartan Podcast.
Before we go, we got a few varsity sports announcements for the upcoming week.
Yeah, today on Monday, both of the girls and boys varsity indoor track will compete in the region tournament today. I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and then on Thursday, varsity basketball is back in action as the girls varsity team will host Christiansburg at 7 o'clock, while the boys varsity team travels to Christiansburg, also tipping off at 7 o'clock. And then Friday is a big day for postseason competition as we wrap up this winter sports season. The girls and boys varsity swim teams will compete in the Class 4 state championship up in Richmond, while varsity wrestling begins day 1 of the Class 4 tournament, Class 4 state tournament in Virginia Beach.
That's some big stuff right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which of the Spartans can come home with some hardware.
And then after all this stuff, that Friday, varsity boys and girls will tip off their region tournament, both at 7 p.m.
Yeah, really looking forward to being there as you guys start the road to Richmond.
Yeah, hopefully both teams pull out a good win at home there. So I'm excited.
I'm sure they'll get it done.
I think we will.
So good luck to all the varsity athletes competing that week. We'll all be cheering you on.
And thank you all again for listening to Salem Sports Podcast.